Welcome back to Media Mesh, where I give you my unapologetic opinion on everything from music, movies, news, reality, TV, and so much more as we go down a rabbit hole. And keep in mind, folks, this is the home for the intelligent dissection of social media. And before you, you have your boy Rich Homie Quan and Casey from Jodeci. Now, what do these two guys have in common? Well, you're about to find out. I got 3 videos lined up for you today that's going to blow your mind and make you really think about this situation from a higher perspective. I believe the third one is the most plausible reason for the situation, but hey, I'll let you be the judge, right? I'll lay it out for you to play it out. Now, at this point, we understand a few things. Number one, he is quote unquote unalived. That's pretty obvious. I mean, you can just start with just the basics. If you look at how the whole situation was reported from the TMZ 911 call, which is kind of rare to have the 911 call this fast. So I guess nothing wrong with that, right? But how the whole call was handled, it just seemed very odd. But then we learned, of course, that the brother found him in the kitchen at 3 a.m. They had to make sure they make mention of that because, of course, that's the witching hour. If you know, you know. But the brother, of course, found him on the floor with food in his mouth. And, I guess any other brother probably would have decided, you know what? This drug use, whatever you got going on, this has to come to an end because this is not normal. We need to go to the hospital immediately to make sure that you're straight. So the question, very simple question is, was he even breathing in? When I first heard of this story, I immediately knew if this was real, he was already gone. So when that brother found him, this is all alleged. I wasn't there, right? But of course, we all making our own assumptions, drawing our own conclusions. But to me, if this is real, he was already gone. But no, the brother picked him up, put him on the couch. Hey, man, sleep it off. Have a good night. So of course the girlfriend comes downstairs, gets kids ready, and just throws a sheet over him. He was cold, so I guess she didn't nudge him or tap him or anything. But she put the blanket on him because she was cold. So I guess she didn't notice anything weird about this situation. And I guess the brother didn't find it necessary to wake her up and say, hey, you know what? Rich Homie's down on the floor with food in his mouth. I think we need to go to the hospital, get him checked out. Nope, didn't happen. It's not like he had a particular place to go. It's not like he has a job, like a regular day job, right? So ordinarily you would think that you would, hey, I'm about to run the kids to school, or something, see the kids off. Nope, not at all. Well, let's get into this theory from this brother, BY Israel, and stay tuned toward the end because that one is the most eye opening if this doesn't blow your mind, right? Because a lot of you, if you're not familiar with gematria, rather, it's the process of coding words into numbers. However you want to look at it, it's definitely interesting. Let's go.
Ooh, yeah. So how did I know this is exactly what I told you it was when I said it came down to Rich Homie Quan? Because numbers don't lie. His name is a generated name. And that's why the generated name matches fake death. They already knew that they were going to kill him off eventually. The character, that is. But before y'all get on here and say I'm reaching like y'all always do, let me ask y'all a question. How many of y'all know that Rich Homie Quan's last post was on September the 2nd? Guess whose birthday that is? Oh, no, 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 no. Keep y'all ass right the fuck here. Since y'all think I be making some shit up, well, let's make some shit up. You see, Quan in Gematria equals 55. And KC just turned the age of 55. Now you see why they killed the character off at this age. A lot of people are going to say the reason why Rich Homie Quan looks as old in the face as he does is because of drugs and he had a hard life. No, you're looking at a 50-something-year-old man. Looks like somebody's grandbrother. If I ain't making shit up, why do my videos keep lining up video after video after video? The real name of Casey, Cedric Haley. His first name, Cedric, equals 33. His last name, Haley, equals 33. And from Casey's birthday to Rich Homie Quan's birthday, 33 days. Them 33 days between the two birthdays, that also translates to 1 month, 0 weeks, and 2 days. The real name of Casey, Cedric Haley, equals 102. This smaller picture is a picture of Alfonso Ribeiro, and you can clearly see that he's wearing a silicone face mask. Celebrities wear silicone face masks and silicone skin suits because it's the closest thing to real skin. So when y'all ask me, how does a 50-something-year-old play the role of a 30-something-year-old, it's because of that. When you look at Rich Homie Quan, look at the hairpiece, look at the shape up. That's a slap on. KC. You hear what I'm saying? This is why I can sit here and say that soul transferring and cloning ain't real. There's no video of that. When I tell y'all that, and when I ask y'all to show me proof, you have no video. That's because these oppressors cannot do it. This is Hollywood, based off of illusions. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but celebrities' hashtags and their captions are more than likely numerically coded. Peep what I'm saying. When it comes to Rich Homie Quan, he posted up vision clear even through the BS. In Gematria, that equals 324. Cedric Bernard Haley, KC's real name, equals 324. He's telling you who he is numerically. Don't forget, he posted this on KC's birthday. And then somebody said in the comments of my part 1 Rich Homie Quan video, what does Rich Homie Quan have to do with the Baltimore Ravens and the NFL? Gee, I don't know. Why is Rich Homie Quan wearing a football jersey in his last Instagram post? Why is he wearing the number 89? Why does 89 match up with Thursday, the day that he died? Why is that 89 on fire? You know, 911 was called. Ambulance, fire department. Why did his crisis actor girlfriend not sound believable? It's called predictive programming. This post was to let you know exactly what was going to happen on that Thursday when he allegedly died. KC from Jodeci, his name equals 14. And KC, the abbreviation for the NFL team, that also equals 14. And Rich Homie Quan allegedly dead on 14 date numerology. 9 plus 5 equals 14. So BY is real. What you are trying to tell me is that Rich Homie Quan's last name is Lamar Jackson's first name. And KC from Jodeci sacrificed his character. And KC beat Baltimore that same night. I hate it here. Fucking hate it here. PSA to all the agents out there trying to do what I do. It's not working for you because when it comes down to these numbers, they don't lie. It takes more than a gimmick to do what I do. You get what I'm saying?
All right, there you have it. So that's BY Israel's take on this situation. He is saying that pretty much KC is Rich Homie Quan. Now, for a lot of people, that may be hard to accept, but I mean, we cannot deny the fact that, Homie Quan definitely looks older than he should for 34 years old. But then, I mean, you got to give him credit for being able to rap, right? He had, multiple hits, you know what I'm saying? Wanna flex, ooh, 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 ooh. What a name. Anyway, we about to get to the next video, but now he's totally contradicting what the third video I'm going to show you is saying in reference to clones and soul transfers. So he doesn't believe that's possible because there's no video. Not that we would really have video, but in Hollywood, that's what it's all about, illusions, right? When you watch a movie, a lot of people think they're just watching a movie and not really understanding that they just showed you the truth. They have to tell you what they're doing before they do it. So this is a form of predictive programming. So let me know in the comments what you think about gematria, right? Now, you have to do a more in-depth understanding of gematria to really fully understand what he's talking about, but hopefully this gets you somewhat curious about it. Let's get to the next video.
They never die.
All right, so this one's real quick. So this guy is saying, well, I don't know if this guy, but there is a striking resemblance between these two people, Rich Homie Quan and David Ruffin. So no real gematria needed here, but I mean, if this is not a splitting image, I don't know what is. They both, oddly enough, were unalived, uh, based around DRUGS, if I can say that on here. And that seems to be a running joke. Most of the celebrities that you see that do pass away is generally surrounded by some drug use. Now, we cannot deny the fact that Rich Homie Quan said multiple times out of his own mouth that how much he really enjoys these um, extracurricular activities. But at the same time, people who indulge in such things generally know how much to take, and how much to do to kind of avoid a serious situation, right? But then again, if it's a pill with some with the F word in it, well, that's a wrap, right? So again, I go back to my point of who gave him the pill. Let's move on to the final video. Now, she's going to share some insight into this. Her name is Isis Wisdom. She is an ex publicist, worked in the music business for years, knows a lot about the business. And her take is definitely interesting. So let's listen up. Let's go.
Now, some of you guys were saying that you felt that Thug had something to do with it. So I checked into that as well. So let me put you up on game about that. Thug knows who did it, but he didn't have nothing to do with that. The people that was behind that, allegedly, is the ones that he turned down that he didn't want to do the deal with. I'm going to let y'all figure that out. And them folks that they work for put that call out. A GOBBM says, I think it happened because they spoke about him in court, so he's scared. It has nothing to do with that. That had nothing to do. Listen to what I'm saying to you, and I want you to listen to me carefully. That had nothing to do with nothing. Do you know how many people were mentioned in Young Thug's case that's still alive? I'm going to need you to use some common sense. There are people that are not famous, like Rich Homie, that knows more about Young Thug's dealings than Rich Homie himself. That's what I want to say first. And those people already turned on him and already moved against him. Let me say that. It wasn't him. But he is aware. And he knew that they were coming for him. And not only did he know, but other rappers, other executives, other people in the music business that are higher up also knew it as well. Do not think for a second that these things are not known by the people in the business, because the business, believe it or not, is very, very small. It might be an industry of like 500,000 people, if that. It may have even downgraded since then because everything has gone digital. So it may have even gotten smaller since then. And that's including touring and all that. Okay? So you might have 500,000 people that work in the music business. It's very small. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody's connected to everybody. If you're not connected to the person, you can easily make a phone call to somebody who is connected to the person and get access to the person. It's very much like that. The music industry is going to change. It's going to change dramatically. There were even people behind Julio Fulio's death. So I want you guys to understand that there are hitmen that are put in place on certain levels of this business, and women. Women are more cunning with how they do things and are more quieter with how they do things. And you'll never suspect her. Very smooth, very cunning, moving like a snake, slithering around. You don't see her coming. And there are some snakes that slither just like this in the music business that I'm very much aware of. I challenge y'all this, and it's going to bug y'all out. Some of your favorite celebrities, you want to know if they're really gone or not? Go to Ancestry.com. Put in search box certain names and see what names come up in that. And that'll tell you everything you need to know. Because some of the people that you see in front of your faces are clones. They're not even here no more. Go to Ancestry.com. You'll see it there. Because see, the way these military tribunals operate, they're not going to put it out there to the public in a way that you think, but there's going to be a way that you can find the information. The music industry is and what it's tied to. Okay? It is also tied to human trafficking. It is also tied to sex trafficking. Okay, there are side things that go on behind the scenes with some of these artists. Okay, that are doing things to get their fame. That some of the stuff that they do or participate in order for these artists to get bigger and bigger, particularly Black artists or quote unquote indigenous artists. Okay, they are put in positions to do certain things to get a certain amount of money or to acquire a certain amount of fame. So now, how are these artists getting to the status of billionaire? Do you think that it's just on talent alone that this is happening? No, it is not. Not only that, there are also contractual agreements with these particular labels or sub-labels or other types of businesses that are tied into these labels where these individuals, depending on their value and their worth, can also be cloned. So they have contracts with clone companies as well behind the scenes. So they have the ability, if you end up, something happen where you get caught up, where the government catches you doing some stuff you ain't got no business doing, and let's say you go to trial, and these hearings are not going to be known to the public, okay? When the military is involved in any type of these types of hearings, you're never going to hear about these hearings in the public. Do not get those types of, those are called tribunals. You're never going to hear about tribunals in the public. It's not for the public. That's the reason why a lot of you guys didn't hear about that stuff back when Trump was in office, because they're tribunals, they're military tribunals. Okay? And there are certain laws in the government where if you're doing certain things or participating in certain actions that is tied to treason, you will go to tribunal and you will go with the government, and they're going to send you behind down to Guantanamo Bay and a couple other places while you await trial. Okay? Now, one or two things has happened if they don't want the public to know about these things, about these people, who's doing what with who or whatever. They can either reclone you, or they're going to bring in a body double, okay, to mimic you, or they're going to use CGI. So a lot of you guys think you're still seeing a real artist, and you're not really seeing these artists. Or there's artists that has completely changed their appearance and look, where they kind of look like the same, but they're not really the same, but they look the same, but they're not, but they are. That's a clone. Okay? That's a clone. And there are certain artists that are right there in front of your face. I mean, blatantly in your face. As a matter of fact, there are two well-known artists that are very big that are military experiments. They're being used as military experiments. They have already been executed, and they are clones.
Wow. Now that was a mouthful. So she spoke on quite a few things. And I think we need to consider what she's saying. You know, this is again somebody who's worked in the music industry, and this completely opposes the first thought by BY Israel that there's no such things as clones, but we do know there's a company called Clonaid, so that is a real thing. So that's what she thinks, okay? But also she hit on the fact that if you look back to who was trying to sign Rich Homie Quan, well, I don't think that went too well. And so that's what I believe she's alleging is behind, well, who is behind this particular hit on your boy Rich Homie Quan. So nothing to do with the YSL trial, according to her, but she says, hey, of course he would know. Everybody in the industry would know. So that's my take on it. I'm letting these 3 different concepts, kick around in your head. You let me know what you think in the comments. We'll go from there. Until next time, peace and blessings.